Years ago, something happened up there. Something not very nice. People think he's haunted.
It's kind of a fableized revenge story.
It's about how revenge eats itself up.
It's a gothic, black comic opera.
Great as the material is, it's a Tim Burton film now.
It's completely reinvented. There's so many amazing images.
You have horror, but then you also have a lot of bloodletting.
You're gonna jump out of your seat a few times.
The music sounds incredible. This isn't like every other movie. This is truly unique.
May we proceed? It's a beautiful marriage from completely different worlds.
The making of it has been really exciting.
For me, it was certainly new territory. That's what I really enjoyed doing it.
How about a shave? There was this guy who has experienced something very, very dark and traumatic in his life.
Barker, his name was. Benjamin Barker.
The rug was pulled out from under his perfect life, his perfect world. Grave injustice.
May the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Sent to prison.
He had his life taken away from him by the judge. When we meet him, he's pretty much already dead in a certain way.
His arrival back into London is him searching for redemption. 15 years dreaming I might come home to a wife and child.
So it is you, Benjamin Barker.
No, Sweeney Todd now. And he will have his revenge. Where is my wife?
She's gone. And he's got your daughter.
Judge Turpin.
I separated him from his wife and am now trying to marry his daughter.
He's so obsessed by avenging his wife's death. He starts becoming a serial murderer.
Everyone's bad. Everyone.
You're barking mad.
These are desperate times, Mrs. Lovett. And desperate measures are called for.
He teams up with Mrs. Lovett, who bakes the worst pies in London.
She comes up with this fantastic genius idea.
What is that?
Due to their association, our pies get much better.
There's a strong sense of passion, there's a sense of loss, there's a sense of regret. There's just something fascinating about that kind of a character. And what happens when somebody has something very tragic happen to them.
I can guarantee the closest shave you will ever know.
All that blood. Well, waste not, want not.
Do you see these razors? I lay them against £5. Thank you, sir.
Johnny Depp plays Sweeney Todd like I think only Johnny Depp can do. He has a different look, a different personality.
The years, no doubt, have changed me.
I've worked with Johnny so many times, and I think this is definitely one of my favorite characters. He's always wanting to do something different, and seeing Johnny play monster in a way is fantastic.
As dark as the story is, it's this brilliant collaboration between Tim and Johnny. They've found just a fascinating place for that character to work.
Why don't you come upstairs? Let me pamper you.
He has got an uncanny ability to make anything cool. He is a hip person, Johnny. Hang on. His choices are always really clever.
Send him up.
It makes my life so much better because it's so much easier to pretend when you completely believe in the person opposite. It's going to take a lot more than ale to wash that taste out. Come with me. Mrs. Lovett, I wanted to be her since I was 11. And I went around apparently in Mrs. Lovett hairdos.
Mrs. Lovett is played by Helena Bonham Carter, and she came in and beautifully made it her own. She's made Mrs. Lovett vulnerable and funny and sweet.
Now, Mr. T, surely one's enough for today.
I knew she was really right for it. It's got to be somebody who has the same quality that he does in a different way.
She brings an honesty, and even though she has this incredible Victorian face and this period look, she's so contemporary, in her comedy particularly, in her timing.
You recognize me from the old days?
Oh, well, that's a different matter then. For a moment there, I thought you lost your marbles.
Together, they're just a deadly combination. I mean that literally.
You know me, sir?
Who in this wide world does not know the great Judge Turpin?
Alan has always been one of my favorite actors. He always finds a different shade to those kinds of characters.
You gandered at my ward, Joanna. You gandered.
He's amazing because he can be unbelievably creepy and then turn his head and be super sweet.
No matter. Come.
These puppy dog eyes.
I have decided to marry my dear Joanna.
Oh, sir, happy news indeed.
But she doesn't seem to be so keen on the idea.
A gentleman knocks before entering a lady's room.
Indeed he does, but I see no lady.
What's great about Alan is that he's able to be bad, but there's a kind of vulnerability about him as well. And you kind of don't really want to know what he's thinking.
Pirelli is played by Sacha Baron Cohen. The guy came in and made us all laugh, won us all over in no time flat.
It was a completely inspired choice.
Ready.
Pirelli's the competing barber in town. He is a big comic character, so that played in, obviously, to Sasha's comic gifts.
And it's just hysterical, his Pirelli. There was a real pure clown there.
You are a paragon of integrity.
Well, try to do my best for my friends and neighbours.
Timothy Spall plays the Beetle, and it's like a kind of right-hand man.
He's made himself indispensable to the judge. He's sort of his bodyguard, his henchman. Next time, it'll be your pretty little brains all over the pavement.
He really gets that whole period, and he actually helps the sets, he helps everybody else. You know, he's able to become that kind of character.
If I know a growing boy, still room for more pie, eh?
Yes, sir.
It was nice to make the kids, the teenagers. It just gave it an extra power.
My character's called Anthony, and I suddenly see this beautiful girl up in the window, and I immediately fall in love with her, and it's actually Sweeney Todd's daughter.
It's amazing. The first film I'm in is Sweeney Todd, and it's directed by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp. That's just unbelievable.
And what I love about Tim is the way he casts movies, and he always gets an interesting group of people.
Helena Bonham Carter, Alan Rickman, Sacha Baron Cohen. I'd watch this movie just to watch these guys.
There's lots of conflicting stories about the origins of the character. The story of Sweeney Todd is kind of like an urban myth.
Sweeney Todd was adopted by the Penny Dreadfuls in England in the 1850s, little cheap theater shows. And then in the 1970s, a dramatist named Christopher Bond adapted Sweeney Todd. Stephen Sondheim saw that production, and he said, there's a musical here.
And I thought it would really be fun to scare an audience and see if you could do it while people are singing.
I went 3 nights in a row. It just hit me because it was so strong, and it was like the emotion was so strong, and the humor set against the music made it something I really could relate to.
This is his masterpiece, but there were aspects of it that had to be translated to the screen, and he was excited about the possibility of reinventing it.
No matter what we changed in it, I wanted to try to be as true to the spirit of it. That's why I wanted to do it.
Tim has taken it and adapted it to his vision, his version of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a whole other animal. You up the stakes quite a lot. Come for a shave, have you, lad?
This is the demon barber of Fleet Street. And Tim is the only one that I know of that could take that head on and not be afraid of the blood and do it in a way that absolutely captivates.
And you can see it in the rhythm, the way the camera glides, the way it moves, the choice of angles. He just goes, shh, forgive me, straight for the jugular.
Mr. Tay, you didn't.
The film gives you the opportunity, unlike a stage production, to do Sweeney Todd with full blood.
We often felt like we were making an old-fashioned horror movie, going back to the kind of performers that were very expressive. There's the strength of looking at somebody's eyes and feeling something coming from, someplace internal.
Tim always wanted a silent movie star look, so we've both got very, very pale skin and then rather dark, sunken eyes.
He said, sort of silent film star horror movie. And I thought, if I put that together with Tim Burton and a silent movie, I think I know the world we're in. His hair freaked out with a sort of Bride of Frankenstein streak glued into it. I've got him.
With any of Tim's movies, there definitely is a dark edginess to them. For Sweeney Todd, I think Tim's really driven by his love of horror films. This film, it's very evident the horror elements are much stronger than any other movie he's done before.
Sweeney has had a long career on stage, many, many productions all over the world. But when you bring Tim and Johnny to the mix, you have an opportunity to get inside of Sweeney.
It's a Tim Burton, Johnny Depp piece, and you know when you get these two guys together, something rather explosive and unique always happens.
Well, I suppose the face of a barber is not particularly memorable.
The most important thing was to maintain the integrity of the music and decide how to use the songs, what songs to use. The people who know the score will see that it really is about telling the story swiftly, intensely, which it does.
We were determined that every cast member use their own voice.
The question comes, think you can sing?
I've worked with Johnny several times, and obviously this is new, him singing. When he said yes, that was good enough for me.
All right, you, sir. How about a shadow? Sweeney's waiting. I want you, bleeders.
He really sings from the gut. It's very sexy.
Not one man, no, 10 men.
Going in, having a musical background, being able to sing in key and have tempo and feel, it just was a really natural thing for him to do.
He does bring something different to it. And I'd say that about all the actors.
Ooh, Mr. Todd, I'm so happy. I could eat you up, I really could. You know what I'd like to do, Mr. Todd? What a dream. If the business stays as good, where I'd really like to go.
Well, with Helena,
In a year or so.
that's a hard character. That one, musically, is the hardest.
Mrs. Lovett's always on the go. She's out there dishing pies out. She's got to move and sing a lot.
That's what it is when you get it. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Many think it was a trick for the poor animals. What are dying in the street?
It's very complicated, it's incredibly fast. And she makes a pie at the same time.
Likely all our neighbours' cats had disappeared.
I'm quite good at multitasking, but it's like the Olympics of multitasking.
Times is
In Pirelli's entrance, Sacha Baron Cohen comes out.
I am Adolfo Pirelli, the king of the barbers, the barber of kings. Buongiorno, good day. I blow you a kiss.
He's got an amazing voice, and it's just hysterical.
And I, the so famous Pirelli, I wish to know who has the nerve to say, my elixir is peace. Who says peace?
There's a very, very thin membrane between the acting and the singing in this movie.
Sit, sir. Sit.
So there's the seamlessness.
You see, sir, a man infatuated with love, ardent and eager slay. Because it's in real rooms and real spaces, the move from speaking into singing becomes much more organic. At first, sir, I think a shave.
Alan does a duet with Johnny.
The closest I ever get.
It's just such a surreal experience. There's Johnny and there's Alan Rickman singing.
Your delights are catching fire from one man to the next.
'Tis true, sir, love can still inspire the blood to pound the heart leap higher. What more can man require than love, sir?
More than love, sir.
What's that?
Women.
Yes, women.
Pretty women.
On the set while we're doing it, we're singing it, we're belting it out.
Pretty women, sir. Pretty women.
The thing that one remembers is the fact that you're singing. I couldn't have predicted that was going to happen, and can't quite believe that it has.
Unlike all other movies of musicals that I know, this really is an attempt to take the material of the stage musical and completely transform it into a movie. That's the most exciting thing about this.
I will have vengeance.
The process of doing the songs was a lot more fun than I anticipated.
This is Johnny Depp singing. This is Helena Bonham Carter. This is Alan Rickman. Everybody has done a great vocal performance.
To watch everybody do that and do it well, that was quite a thrilling thing for me.
Everybody expects surprises from a Tim Burton film, and it's Sweeney Todd like you've never heard it before, really.
The costumes are designed by one of the best costume designers in the business, Colleen Atwood.
She's a magician. She's got a row of Academy Awards that speaks for itself.
I've worked with Colleen many, many times, and she's as important as anybody. Costumes are another character in the movie.
When I first talked to Tim about Sweeney Todd, he said he wanted to create a world that felt mid-Victorian without making it too precious. It's sort of a combination of different parts of London from 1830 to 1865. So I've evolved a lot of our own textiles and own prints for all the costumes for every character.
Most of the great actors I've worked with, when they put on a costume, they become the character. It helps them find who the character is, helps their performance, so she gets that.
For Sweeney Todd, Johnny and I tried on some different stuff, and then we found this neck rag that I had, and he put it on, and we're like, that's Sweeney. And it was our starting point for the character. One thing that we came up with was the holster rig for his razor with hobnails in it, and then I put hobnails on his boot. So we had fun with little tiny details.
Come in. Nothing to be afraid of, love. I love all my outfits. I mean, frankly, I just live in them all the time.
Mrs. Lovett comes to the table with a lot of ideas because she is Mrs. Lovett. Her costumes ultimately became quite ornate. So it was fun to evolve with sort of this madcap character.
We had a really good time, Colleen and I. You look for clues in a script, and the big clue is when the Beadle says to me, well, maybe you should sort of clean yourself up a bit.
There's powder up on your vest, my lord, and stubble up on your cheek.
So I thought, well, if this guy's wandering around not shaving properly and with dust on his coat, let's take this further. So I have some pretty horrible stains all over my clothes.
Ready?
I had a blast with the Beadle. You get a guy like Timothy Spall and your mind goes crazy because he's someone that really enjoys the period. The hat shape was my initial take on the character, and I always saw him in a little waisted coat.
This coat is a sort of rah-rah leather frock coat that could also be like the skin of an iguana. It's all rather stylish and pretty and rather worrying. Frightens some children, you know.
Ferrelli took a whole spectrum of evolution. We thought he should have a corset, be sort of a rooster, which is where we ended up with Sasha, who was an amazing collaborator. We made him a cape for his entrance, and then he needed a cape for when he goes out about town.
Signora, is Mr. Todd at home?
Line is tried upstairs.
He's got the brightest costume in the movie.
Mr. Todd.
For his one costume, I say you've had more fittings than Mrs. Lovett.
You see these looks and there's a wonderful sense of the time. It's choice and textured, individual.
What I love the most about making movies is that you're always learning new things, especially with Tim. It's always fun because it is a work of art. He's a director that appreciates the texture and the nuances of costume. That's a real treat for a costume designer to work with.
The world of Sweeney Todd is set in the 1850s. It's a very rich and Baroque world.
It's Victorian London, movie London, sort of horror movie London.
The look of the picture is very real, yet surreal. What we needed doesn't exist, so it all has to be built. Academy Award winner Dante Ferretti is a production designer, and he's exceeded our expectations.
Tim Burton's a very visual director. He knows what he wants. For me, the most important thing is just to stay on the same vision. I start to make my sketches and put all this together.
The first idea was to make this film very moody, very dark, a lot of contrast, very graphic. Dante builds the sets, which are also very monochromatic, very stark.
The sets are absolutely fantastic. It's a kind of return to another era of making movies. This is the filmmaking that you fantasize about, where they rebuild Fleet Street in a studio. It's a great, detailed world.
Mrs. Lovett is a purveyor of fine pies, and the pie shop isn't doing very well.
Mrs. Lovett hasn't got a very successful pie shop, so the pies are particularly horrible looking, rotting insides and burnt on the outside. It's a historically accurate pastry. It's the way they would have made pies in the 1840s, completely by hand.
It actually looks really disgusting, but tastes okay.
And they're not just edible pies. We have rubber pies, we have pies that are made of fiberglass, pies that we can put in the oven.
I've made 600 pies so far. I think I'll easily make another 600.
There's so many people working on it, and it's just so intricate. Really, everything has to be perfect.
Everything is important, but the barber shop is at the center of the story.
The chair is obviously an integral part of Sweeney Todd and the story. And you see him building the chair up and going from a normal wooden chair into this mechanical monster. And being a Tim Burton movie, it has its own special quirks. The cogs and the movements all actually do work. Goes back, the trap door goes away, then the chair tips up.
We talked about many different ways of the chair flipping over and going forward. We felt sort of going down backwards gave it an extra brutal landing on your head moment for the victims.
The razors are very much a key prop in the movie. Tim wanted a particular look to the blade, so we started making different blades for him, different sizes, different lengths.
The razors are an extension of him, part of his passion and part of who he is. Johnny's good at using scissors and sharp instruments, so it seemed natural in a way.
My friend, my faithful friend. These blades are his family. They're the only loves in his life now. They needed to be poetic.
This was a particular request from Johnny, a blade that had a switch mechanism. You can just imagine the pain that they're going to inflict.
The blades are gorgeous, beautiful.
It mixes horror movie and musical, humor, emotion, light, dark.
It's a very scary, suspenseful movie.
Merging the thriller and the musical, well, it just really hasn't been done before.
It's just been amazing being able to work with such a top director.
It's going to appeal to people who like Tim's work, and then he found a Johnny Depp because it's a perfect fit.
This is like a gift, and I think everybody involved had been thrilled by making it.
It's Tim Burton at his best.
His vision, his passion. He's outdone himself, and that's what's great to me.
Every time, just try to do something different, and this certainly was that.
At last, my arm is complete.
That's all very well, but what are we going to do about him?